me out, got in. Brian Wright, Courage to Change. Feather Scott.
Hi.
What's up, girl? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you for your time.
Of course.
And so let's get it out there. So you were like on this plateau. You were like at a year of sobriety, close to, and then you fell off.
Yeah.
What happened? Because like rumors surfaced throughout our sober living community that one minute you're like on this emotional high, things are going good. I remember you saying, I'm just waiting for something bad to happen. Mm-hmm. And then rumors surface, Feather's locked up in her apartment room for 4 days. Send help.
God. Yes.
So we're like, really? We're like, somebody needs to get her out.
Yeah.
So you come out. What happened? Like, you were like house manager, Stacy Curtis. Talk about that. What were some of the red flags?
Yes, I was doing really well. I self-sabotage, of course, so I always expect the worst. But I started withdrawing, from going to meetings and participating in my program and, staying active.
Right.
I just completely just stopped doing the things that I know worked, I guess in a sense of rebellion, kind of going against what people were saying. And it was like one thing after another, I just stopped doing what I was supposed to be doing. And of course, I ended up leaving sober living, and I was doing good for about a week and a half, and then I ended up completely going back out. And yeah, I locked myself in my bedroom for about 5 days, and
so the rumors are true.
Yes. Yeah. It was, I don't know. I mean, we have that crazy insanity that, things will be different. And
right.
I fully did not think that things would be different this time. I knew what to expect. I knew what was going to happen. I knew what people were going to say. I knew how I was going to feel. And I still did it anyway.
Yeah.
But I definitely sat in my room I remember the day it happened, it was a Friday, and I'm like, I'm just going to do this until Monday.
Right.
Monday, everything going to be fine. I'm going to go get a job. Yeah. I'm just going to put it down. And, 5-6 days later, I still couldn't. And yeah, here I am.
And so I'm happy that you're back.
Thank you.
And my thing is, like, most of us don't make it back on the road to recovery.
Right.
Like, I just had a friend overdose, pass away, went to his wake. So my thing is, now, like, what was the turning point or a moment of clarity for you that said, hey, I could very well not make it back on the road?
When I came back to get sober this time, I literally fought tooth and nail to come back. It wasn't I was fighting to come and get sober, but it was like I showed up at, back at Stacy Curtis's houses, and it was like, okay, like, I'm going to get sober again, but I hated every minute of it.
Right.
Like, absolutely hated it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Of course, I come back. Okay, so let me back up. So the 2 days before I came and got sober again, I was still going to work every day. I was still coming to meetings. I remember sending a few text messages saying, kind of reaching out and being like, hey, I'm still staying in the sober house. I'm still, using, kind of sending these nonchalant, like, clues that I'm messing up and I need help.
Right.
Instead of just having the balls to say, hey, I need help, come get me, it was just like, this is what's going on. And then in my head, I'm like, oh, well, they'll come save me. They'll come and drag me out. But finally, I remember telling somebody, I need you to reach out to Stacy for me, because I don't have the courage to do it.
That's good.
And then when I came back to get sober, because of course Stacy called me the next morning and she's like, get all your stuff, get your butt over to that house, like you can sleep on the couch, we're gonna get you sober again. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna be safe. But then I show up and I'm like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to go to meetings. I don't want to have to look people in the eye again and tell them I messed up. It took me about 2 weeks before I felt semi-decent. Because I was crazy. I was so crazy and angry those first 2 weeks. Like, I remember coming to back to basics and I was just livid.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I like what you said, the courage, and then you said clues. So, success leaves clues. Mm-hmm. And you reached out to the people that have been successful in recovery.
Absolutely.
That helped you get back to the road. And what I like about you is like what Mitzi said, is like you're a survivor and you're a beautiful mess. And we all are. We all are. Absolutely. And what I like about this time around for you is that you've gotten to a place where you've allowed to give yourself grace. And I think that's very important in recovery, no matter at what length you have, like the amount of sobriety you have, we all have to get to a place of accepting ourselves and get to a place where we show ourselves and others grace.
Right.
So what's different for you this time around?
I don't want to say everything because that sounds so cliche, but everything.
Right. I remember we had a conversation with Fisher, and we were talking about spirituality.
Yeah.
And a relationship. And
I remember that conversation. I was pretty angry. I had a very dark, prejudiced outlook on the whole spirituality and higher power thing.
What does that look like now?
I know that there's something bigger than me.
Right.
I'm always going to be that person that, like, I like to complicate things, and I'm like, well, if I can't see it, feel it, or smell it, or whatever, it's not there. But today, I know it is there. I just have to open my eyes and see it.
Right.
I've had so many amazing things happen to me in the last 2.5 months. I ended up moving into an amazing sober living community. I get my daughter every weekend, and instead of looking at the materialistic things for that higher power, I know that, like, when my daughter smiles, that's God.
Right.
When I can make someone laugh, or when I can help somebody and not want something in return, I know that's God. Yeah. So that's definitely not my doing. I do have a spiritual connection with something today.
That's good.
I don't complicate it. Definitely don't complicate
it. Right. The balloon just flies.
Yeah, it's just there.
It just floats in there and floats away.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Okay, so have you thought about a superhero?
Sure. We're gonna say Poison Ivy.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Why Poison Ivy?
No, you can't ask that.
Is she a superhero or what?
That's it.
Okay, Poison Ivy. That fits you. That suits you. That's good.
Whatever. Y'all can come up with your own assumptions. Okay.
We're gonna follow up on Poison Ivy in 3 to maybe 6 months from now and see where she's at in life. But
I just celebrated 3 months, guys. I'm so happy.
Yeah. And so another thing I want to touch on is, like, so for me, it's like we're talking about, you see God, when our kids, smile, I get that. And for me, it's like the more I grow the fellowship in the body of in the sense of spirituality, and when I see something inside other people,
right,
and then they speak to my heart,
right,
and then that's what helps me lock and load, so to speak, and do the next right thing, and try to do more of whatever it is that I see somebody else doing with the clues, looking for the clues of success. So who are some of those people now for you on the road back to recovery that stand out for you, that you see what they're doing and you're like, I need to do more of that?
I know that talk that I had with you and Fisher, that definitely has stuck with me.
Wow.
You guys, I definitely look up to you guys.
That's awesome.
You know, our home group has a lot of amazing people. Fisher has definitely walked with me during my crazy times. My friend Rachel has definitely pulled me through.
Catwoman.
Yes, we've definitely shared a lot of those dark times, and now we're getting to share a lot of the first again. I don't know,
That's
Mitzi,
cool.
you know.
Yeah.
Mitzi's amazing. I watch her from afar. I don't get to see her much, but I still look up to that woman. I met her 3 years ago, and still to this day, she is someone I would turn to for any type of guidance. So
that's awesome. Okay, so like I've shared with you, and I've shared with many people, we're answered prayers. Mm-hmm. And I really believe that you're an answered prayer, and you add quality to my life, and you know that, and I'm just so happy to see you back and growing, and taking action, right? Mm-hmm. And that's why I wanted to make it a point to get you in for another interview, so we could follow up, and I plan to upload the previous video when you get further along, and maybe lap it over with that one, or lay it over with the other interview. Other than that, I think we pretty much covered everything. Until like maybe 3 to 6 months down the line, we'll take a look again and see what your life looks like.
Awesome.
All right.
Can't wait.
All right. It's Brian Wright with Feather Sky, aka Poison Ivy of Recovery. Until next time, grace and peace.
Bye, guys.